All right. Shalom, shalom. Kahalayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash, Yahweh, being the true name and the only name in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Wadash, or the holy tongue who the world inwardly calls God. Yahweh Shai, being the true name and the only name in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Wadash, or the holy tongue who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. Letting you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negroid and indigenous descent, through the lineage of your fathers, know you are the true children of Israel. Yasharala in the Paleo Hebrew, meaning he prince of the power. Double honors and salutations to the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach well, who I learn from daily. The brothers on down, and the likewise like-minded brothers who are scattered throughout this earth, teaching the same doctrine. You Akim and you Akwaf, you brothers and you sisters, who have returned to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai with spirit and in truth. I bid you a shalom, and you speckled bird Israelite foreigners who look like these heathen nations, but truly go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I bid you a shalom as well. And when these 17 nations outside of Yasharala are reading the Bible, what are they truly reading? They are reading your history, man. So guess what, man? We back out here another day, another hour, another minute, another second, doing what? Prophesying the downfall of this wicked queendom known as America, but in the scriptures known as the virgin daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon, Assyria, Nineveh, Idumea, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, Edom, Basra, the land of Uz, man, and last but not least, the lake of fire. How would the North America or the United States become a lake of fire? Because all thermonuclear capabilities, all nations with thermonuclear capabilities will shoot their thermonuclear capabilities over here to the United States of America, aka the Babylon the Great, man. So, with that being established, man, back out here through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, prayerfully with another edifying lesson, for those who had the spiritual eyes to see, the spiritual ears to hear, who were imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man, and who had the true names of the Lord and had returned to him in spirit and in truth, man. We have so many things jumping off, man. Prophecy jumping off the pages, man. We in the 2-minute warning, the shot clock, man. Let me say it like that. You got 24 seconds in the NBA with a shot clock down to 14 seconds, man. And our people are still out here in folly. Our people are still walking around out here in great darkness, man. And they have no true fear of the Lord, man. You got nation against nation. You got Egyptian versus Egyptian popping off, man. You have great famines coming down the pipe, man. What else do we got? Mass death in an innumerable amount of ways, man. And our people are, guess what? Walking around here with blinders on their eyes, man. And it's a great penalty for that, man. You have Turkey, Iran, and Russia joining forces, man. Like I say, you got Saudi Arabia middlemaning Russia's oil and their resources, man. These damn devils coming down with releasing, what does the CDC stand for? The Center of Disease Control stands for what? That means they control the diseases, man. So we're right here at the brink of all hell breaking loose, and yet and still 2/3 of our people are oblivious, and majority of these other nations are totally oblivious to the time that they living in. But guess what? What did Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai command of his servants to come out here and do what, man? Bid his sheep to the marriage, man. Get out here on the highways and hedges to compel his house to be filled. So let's start off. We ain't gonna need to play no games. Let's start off. Going through the spirit, man. Let's start off. Let's go to the book of Galatians. Let's start in Galatians, man. The book of Galatians, chapter 4. Galatians chapter 4. Galatians chapter 4 and verse 16, man. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? That's what majority of our people, they're going to look at me as an enemy, man, because I'm telling you the truth. What are the prophets telling you? The prophets telling you that you are in the last days. What last days? The last days of the so-called white man's world, man. Because our people have been so destroyed by rap music, by what? Educational system, by what? Religion, by what? Chasing the U.S. dollar, which is a Ponzi scheme. You know, it's not backed by any tangible resources, because what is the true resources? Gold, land, cattle, and slaves. That's the true money according to the scriptures, man. So our people are so-called gone off the blue Benji, the blue head Benjamin, man, with George Washington face on it. I mean, Benjamin Franklin's face on it, man. Well, guess what? It ain't worth shit. So let's read that again. Galatians chapter 4 and verse 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Well, guess what? Those who are standing on the that 1/3 that are standing on the right side of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, guess what? We are enemies to these people, man. Because our people, they don't want to hear this truth, man. They don't want to hear it. Matter of fact, they despise it, man. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs, man. The first chapter. Proverbs, the first chapter. You know, Proverbs, the first chapter. Proverbs, the first chapter. And I'm going to start at verse 22. Proverbs 1 and 22. Let's start at 20. Let's start at 20. No, let's start at 17. Surely in vain the net is spread in sight of any bird. That word vain goes into what? Empty, man. So the 1/3 who are imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the eyes to see, and the ears to hear, who endure unto the end, who are rehearsing these righteous acts, who are studying to show themselves approved, man. You know, and you know, following them laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, that net is going to be spread. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's net is going to be spread in vain, man. Meaning it's not going to affect you. Verse 18, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Verse 20, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. So guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahushua, being that great man of war, being that strategist, you know, a general or a man of war would do what? He would be strategic. So like I was talking to a brother earlier, man, what did I said to him? It's a beautiful analogy. When you read, let me get something. Let's get something real quick, because I want to prove something. Salah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to deal with, let's go to Job. Job chapter 23, and we're going to go back. Job chapter 23. Job chapter 23. And I want to go to verse 9. Job 23 and 9. On the left hand where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand that I cannot see him. And what is that going into? That's going into Isaiah 45 and 7, meaning what? He creates the light, he creates darkness, he creates peace, he creates evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So with that being said, majority of our people, like I always like to say, majority of our people, when they didn't have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, when they were in darkness, what were they doing? They were ripping and running through Babylon or the places where you were scattered, trying your best to chase the bag. Majority of those times, it will have you in illegal endeavors or out in the streets. Well, Proverbs 1 and 20 says what? That the truth will be out here in the streets. Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates, in the cities. She uttered her words, saying. So this is the chief place of concourse. I'm down in the chief place of concourse, uttering these words. What words? The true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is the testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of prophecy. What does prophecy mean? To speak before, man. So what are we speaking before? That you live in the most famous place according to the Bible, which is Babylon the Great, that's destined to be destroyed. that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negroid and indigenous descent are the true children of Israel. To do what?
About family.
Okay, well, this ain't about fame. See, our people think it's a game. Not understanding what time they living in, man. Not understanding who they are according to the Heavenly Father, who made you the elite of his creations. You know, they think it's a game. So guess what? That's why 2/3 of our people gonna be destroyed. Let's read this again. Proverbs 1:21. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? What did this little girl who trying to be a boy just do? She came up here and showed she was simple. Talking about she want to be famous. Well, you gonna be famous because guess what you gonna do? You gonna eat a missile, man. Call like him, like how about Shimmy, how was shot. Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So guess what? 3 Judites just came up here and looked at this shit, Salah, and looked at let's get a little video on that, and looked at these and looked at these visual aids, and guess what? They hated it, they despised it, they kept going, man. It don't mean nothing to them, right? Verse 23, turn ye you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make my words known unto you. How will he make his words known unto you? Through the men that he set up. Through the men that he ordered to come out here on the highways and hedges and do this work, man. Huh? Call like him, like how about Shimmy, how shot. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. I want to deal with something first. Let's go to how do I want to do this? Let's go to Habakkuk real quick. Let's go to Habakkuk, man. Habakkuk chapter 3. Habakkuk the 3rd chapter, because what? The true men in the Lord did what? Habakkuk chapter 3. Habakkuk chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 1. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Shigionoth. O Lord Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. So guess what? Men like myself who are imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding heard other men and was afraid when they told them, guess what? Hey man, Yahweh Shimmy Hawashai is the king of terrorists, man. He's about love, but he also brings wrath, man. 2/3 of our people are going to be wiped out, man. The kingdom of heaven is only for the 1/3. Those who will return, back to him in spirit and truth, man. Scared about what? The famine that's on the way, huh? That he was a so-called black man with woolly hair, who was coming to put the rest of these nations in the chains, man. Whose army start with those men who he raised up here in this time. But guess what? What the so-called white man called the UFOs are nothing more than his army, man. He the host of heaven. We read it right here, Habakkuk 3:2. O Lord Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. So that's what these men who are out here doing this work, who are out here making their body a living sacrifice. That's what they hoping on. That in his wrath, he gonna remember mercy upon us and those who believed on the report. Call like him like Yahweh Shimmy Hawashai, by Shimra Kakwadash. So now, he commanded this man to do what? He commanded this man to do what? Salakia, man. Yeah, we gonna get that. We gonna get that, man. He commanded this man to do what? Let's go to let's go to the book of. Hey, man. Let's go to the book of Luke. I'm gonna go to Luke. I'm gonna go to Luke. Call Layim Layim Ba'Shem Yahweh Ba'Shem HaKakwadash. Luke chapter 14 and verse 23. I'm going to start at 22. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. So guess what? What does it say about the laborers? What does it say about the laborers? What does it say about the laborers? You know, because it ain't enough of us. It ain't enough of us. It ain't enough of us. Let me get that. Salakia. Let me get that. Here we go. Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter 9. I want to start at verse 35. And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom. What is the gospel of the kingdom? The gospel of the kingdom is, guess what? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the true children of Israel. All these other nations are beneath you. They are going to be servants. They're going to serve a rigorous labor underneath you. The earth was made for your sakes. Huh? And that I love only you. That's the gospel of the kingdom. And that you're going to abide in that state forever, man. That's the gospel of the kingdom, man. You can read about that, I believe, in Isaiah 61:1. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that, man. Isaiah 61:1, I believe. There we go. Isaiah 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. Who would the meek be? Those who are imparted with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The hopefully elect. Those who will humble themselves once they heard the word, man. Huh? John 10:27 tells you what? My sheep hear my voice. The Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives. Who are the captives? We're going to get that. We're going to get that. Proclaim liberty to the captives and opening up of the prison to them that are bound. Matter of fact, let's prove who the captives is. And we're going to come back to Matthew, the 9th chapter, Lord willing. This is the book of Baruch. The book of Baruch. The book of Baruch, chapter 3. The book of Baruch, chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 7. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, your meaning the mind, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. Who shall call upon thy name? Those who were given the name. Who was given the true names of the Lord? The hopeful elect, Zion, the 1/3 who are returned back and repented in sincerity and truth. Behold, Salakia, Baruch 3:7. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, Yahweh meaning the mind, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity, for we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. So guess what? Yahweh gave us these scriptures with the Holy Bible as a book of remembrance. Huh? And before I go into this, let's prove that. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. This would be, is it Deuteronomy? Is it Ecclesiastes? Hold on. Bear with me. I'm going to get it, man. Let's go to Malachi. Malachi, chapter 3. I was way off, but guess what? I know it. I got it up here. I don't have it down. I can't call it out like that, but guess what? We coming out here to do what? We coming out here to put up them jump shots, man. Come out here to put up them jump shots. We do lessons because repetition is the father of skill, not the mother. The father passed down the bloodline, the legacy, the lineage. So guess what? Coming out here on these highways and hedges and doing these lessons and reading and studying to show yourself approved does what? It brings skill. But anyway, let's continue. Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua spake often one to another. How do we do that? Through these lessons, through these video epistles. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hearken, because that's crying out, that's praising his name. When we doing these things, when we come out on these highways and hedges and we do these lessons. And heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. Now, let's continue. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts. Host means army. In that day when I make up my Jews, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. What does it mean that he gonna spare them? Because guess what? Through those men, our children, Lord willing, and those who heard us shall be saved, man. Verse 18, then shall ye return, meaning repent, and discern between the righteous and the wicked. Those who know, who can hear, who have the spiritual eyes to see, and the spiritual ears to hear, and those who don't. Between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not, which will be the 2/3 of our nation. So now, let's go back to Baruch, knowing that I still got to go back to Matthew, the 9th chapter, the water Yahweh Hashem Yahushua for hold me down. Baruch, let's go back to Baruch, chapter 3. Because we dealing what? When we read Matthew the 9th chapter, it was talking about the captives, man. I believe. Let's continue. Matthew 3 and 8. Behold, meaning look, we are yet this day in our captivity. Our people don't understand that we still in our captivity, man. You came over here, you so-called blacks, Hispanic and Native Americans, majority of the Southern Kingdom, which would be the tribes of Judah, the American Negroes, the tribe of Benjamin, the West Indian Caribbean Negroes, the Jamaicans, and the Haitians, the Levites. You came over here on slave ships, majority of you. Call your ancestors. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. The so-called white man calls that scattering the diaspora. Right? He calls that the diaspora. For a reproach and a curse. Because the curses go back to what? The book of Deuteronomy, man. Mainly the 28th chapter. Right? But guess what? Psalms 40 and 7, I believe it is, say, lo, he comes in the volume of the book. So you can know, it's curses all throughout this book, man. And Lord willing, we'll get to some of those. For a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquity of our fathers, because we just read, we go hearken for what? The iniquities of our forefathers, which departed from the Lord our power, man. So that's what our forefathers did. You wanted to be what? You wanted to be gay. You wanted to be LGBTQ. You wanted to worship Islam. You wanted to chase after false gods. Huh? You wanted to deal with, you want to get into idol worship, man. Mainly our people today are doing what? You're chasing that golden calf, which is Esau Edom's so-called Federal Reserve note, which has no power, man. And the world is finna find out, you damn Babylonians or you Americans are finna find that out the hard way in the days to come. So I want to deal with something, Lord willing, I can come back to it. I want to deal with something. Let's go to Lamentations to go even further, because we just read we are in our days, we are yet in the time of our captivity. And Lord willing, I'm going to still go back to Matthew the 9th chapter. Let's go to Lamentations, because we're going through the Spirit, man. Lamentations, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Remember, O Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Because guess what? We were scattered for a reproach. We were scattered for a punishment. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Who is the stranger and the alien? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, he is the top stranger and the top alien. And the other 17 heathen nations that are spoken about in the scriptures. Verse 3, we are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Yeah, that's why you got to pay a day up. That's why you got to go get a bottle of water, man. Because what? 2nd Ezra chapter 6, around the 54th verse, is going into there. Guess what? Yahweh Shai did what? He made the world for your sakes. He made the world for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans' sake, and everything that's in it. Let's continue. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Everything here is yours already. Because guess what? You are joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, who the world ended calls Jesus Christ. And everything that's created is for you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Our people don't want that dope. What do you want? What do you want? You want a steak from Ruth Chris. Matter of fact, Salakia, let me get that right. You want a fried pork chop from Ruth Chris. Huh? That's what you want. That's what you want. Huh? You want to go see Cardi B down there at the damn stadium talking about WAP. Huh? You want a YouTube channel. That's what you want, man. Huh? You want to try to study all these damn books. You want to become what they call that? You want to become that's what our people like to do. You want to try to find another way out of your captivity, man. You want to adapt to Esau, Edom's system. You want to become a damn lawyer. You want to become a damn politician. Huh? You want to get a storefront and sell lashes and weave. Huh? Let's continue, man. Salakia. Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 4. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Verse 5. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. You don't have no rest. You don't have no rest here. Because what? Because what? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai brought you over here for... We read it. We read it. I brought it out yesterday, but I'm going to bring it out again, man. The slam it home. The slam it home, man. The reproach. I'm going to bring it out again, man. Call out you like Yahweh Shem. And prayerfully, guess what? One thing I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. It don't matter about a view. It don't matter about a subscriber. The corner part of you sometimes get caught up in that. But the truth is, before I get there, let's get this. Before I get there, let's get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 39. I believe that is. No. Salakia. Let me get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 23. I'm going to start here first. And then I'm going to work my way around. And preferably, I can make it back to where I started at. But I'm going through the spirit, man. I want to deal with this. Ecclesiastes chapter 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. So guess what? 2/3 of our people only fear the eyes of the so-called white man. What is the eyes of the so-called white man? His cameras, the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, his government, huh? Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Now, somebody tell me, can the so-called white man come up with an illustration for that? Give us an illustration. Since he's so damn smart, give us an illustration of sun being brighter 10,000 times brighter than the sun, man. He can't do it. Because guess what? He's a man. He's flesh. He is not Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, we're going to get that. I'm cranked up now. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So I said that to say what? It don't matter about the views, because guess what? The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Long as my view's up, or long as your view's up, or whoever else might see this, long as you out here doing the work, guess what? It's being recorded. Because the so-called white man did what? He put a false flag down with 9/11. He put a false flag down with 9/11. The Twin Towers, to do what? To bring forth something called the Patriot Act. That's where you got all these cameras from. So he's trying to mimic what? The eyes of the Lord, man. So now, prayerfully, I can go back, because now I'm getting cranked up in the spirit. Now I'm getting cranked up in the spirit. Verse 20. He know all things ever they were created. So also, after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. Huh? So it don't matter. It don't matter how many views you got. It don't matter how many subscribers I got. Or nobody else. I'm being recorded by them angels, man. And he know what? I'm out here standing boldly for this truth, man. So now let's continue. Let's go back to Lamentations. Because I don't want to go too far. I'm supposed to go back to Matthew and prove the point about the prisoners. You know? Huh? Lamentations, chapter 5. And I'm going to read verse 5 again. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We don't have no rest. Our people still trying to look for this solace in a place that was set up for your captivity, man. What did I say I was going to get? Oh, yeah. Let's prove that. Let's prove that. Salah. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going through the spirit, man. And prayerfully it's edifying, man. Because every time I'm coming out here, guess what I'm doing? I'm putting up them shots. That boy Curry can't hit that three if he ain't putting up them shots. That boy Damian Lillard can't hit the buzzer beater if he ain't putting up them shots. Huh? Jordan can't come through and stick his tongue out if he ain't working on it.